convido ao palco Maduri Sebastian, líder da categoria Enterprise Imagine Informatics na Philips, para apresentar como será o futuro para o radiologista. Welcome, Maduri. Palmas para ela.
Thank you. Bom dia, everyone. I am so happy to be here and talk to you today about a topic near and dear to my heart, which is radiology. Shaping the future of the radiology workflow. A lot of us at Philips spend a lot of time thinking about this. So today you'll hear a little bit from me, and then we have more sessions by my colleagues, Marco, Dario, and others, that they will go really deep into how we are thinking. And we want to engage in the dialogue with you through these sessions. Tell us what you think and tell us how we can be better together. So if I take a minute and talk about today. Today, the radiologists that serve our communities are increasingly working under critical pressure. There is more patients that have comorbid conditions that require serious, more advanced care. At the same time, there's staffing shortages, burnout, cost pressures, and really a proliferation of data. So in the middle of all of this, how do you keep up with your day-to-day while advancing the standard of care? There are some key trends that we think unlock the future for us. One is around AI and predictive analysis. I've talked to many of you that I had a chance to interact with yesterday and learn about all the things you're doing using artificial intelligence. That's one piece of the pie. The second piece, if you will, is around integrated diagnostics. AI needs to be within the workflow, and it needs to combine radiology and other ologies, for example, radiology and pathology together, to really bring a faster way to diagnose the patient. The third is around precision medicine. When you take AI, when you take multi-omic, looking at the data together, and then you tailor that to the individual patient by bringing genomics data, by understanding the broader care history of the patient, you can provide a more tailored care pathway for the patient. The fourth is really, the key is to unlock scale, because taking care of one patient at a time faster is good, but we need to be able to do it across geographies and populations. And the secret there, we believe, is distributed care. Reading, reporting from anywhere, serving broader populations. And we'll talk a little bit about the tools that enable us to do that. These are the four key pillars that we think are trends that are here today, but really then how do we bring that together to solve the problems of today and build a future where the workflow becomes much more simpler and easier for the radiologist and the care team providing the patient care together. What if the AI is integrated into the workflow fully? Again, AI is not new. A lot of you have said how you're using AI in your health systems today. But we believe the ecosystem really needs to come together within the PACS. A work list that is automatically triaging what's the most critical finding, that's intelligent, that turns results up quicker for you to look at. We really think that the early detection of the critical findings so that the radiologist can go and look at the most important cases first, and AI can do that for you within the PACS workflow itself. Look at incidental findings, highlight for you not just what you're reading for that patient, but also anything else it finds. That's the power of AI. Give you the ability to accept or reject the workflow, and then really precede the report, which is what the clinical team at the end is waiting for. And then systematic analysis for doing a deeper analysis of the broader trends of the data. Reporting, we think, is a very, very key element that can completely change with AI. Extracting the priors for the patient, which may not be in that image, but is in your EMR data, is in the previous report. comparing the analysis over time of how the patient is evolving, automating the findings in a way that you take less time to really input the results, and it's pre-populated. You'll see some great examples in the future presentations like I talked about. And then really using large language processing or NLP to think about how does this patient progress over time and looking at the history of the data together. So again, less time taken from the time you get an order to creating a report with having AI integrated deeply within the PACS. That's what we think is the secret to really building that efficiency and utilizing AI in the most effective way. However, that's one piece of the puzzle, because the second part of really leveraging AI is bringing the data together. How do you access the data? How complex is that? Can we simplify bringing all the data that you need for AI to be giving you the insights together? That's where a single centralized standards-based archiving solution comes into play, which is on the cloud. So you can access the imaging data from really anywhere, your phone, your tablet, a computer. The clinician and the radiologist can look at it together, and it's a unified view. Because bringing this data together in a central place, especially in the cloud, is the way then we can really unlock the potential of AI in our solutions. So AI and bringing the data together is technology. That doesn't really solve the problem, which is how do you deliver better care at a faster rate? And that's where the collaboration comes in. Putting the radiologist in the middle of the clinical team and integrating how they look at the patient together. Looking at the data from pathology, from radiology in a single viewing system, really making the multi-ology viewing a possibility, not just in the radiology workflow, but in the clinical workflow, and everybody looking at the data in the same way, and enabling real-time access and collaboration. So for example, what if you could communicate with a technologist during a scan using the same tools that a radiologist and a technologist is looking at? During the intervention, looking at the simple ways to collaborate, and we believe a common viewing mechanism is the best way to do that. Live chats, seamless, very quick updates so that the right protocol is picked, the right scan is done, the right dosage is injected, etc. But together, enabling that real-time collaboration. Looking at the patient, the full patient, holistic picture in a unified patient brief. So looking at vitals, looking at their information from the EMR, looking at the previous reports, the previous scans, looking at different modalities of data together. And imagine now this same view is available to the radiologist as well as the clinical team. And that may not be in the same place together in the same hospital, but you're able to quickly access and look at sort of the holistic view of the patient and have access to a unified patient jacket. So enabling clinical decision support at the point of care, real time, between a radiologist and the clinical team. Having a single multi-omic diagnostic viewer. So extending what we talked about into the diagnostic part. So, but also making that, we talked about scale in the beginning. Enabling scale is by putting that in the web so that it's easy to deploy. We're not dealing with monitors and deploying across thousands of units across. A very, very simple way that can be accessed over the web to look at a diagnostic viewer that brings all of the information together. You have the work list and the reporting all integrated. These things all come together so that, again, we can quickly diagnose what's important at that right moment in time. So data is everywhere. We know that, right? So now imagine you're doing this at scale, and you're generating lots of data as a result of it. You have to address operational efficiency. So if you want to go beyond a single patient or a community hospital or a single hospital, and you want to do this at scale, it's really important to think about how is all of this data then going to process and make the workflows more efficient. You heard Shez talk a little bit about generative AI. You heard Shiv talk about this. And that really is sort of the next frontier of how do we take all of this data that our systems are generating, take all of this patient care information and process it in a very, very seamless way so that we can look at real-time statistics across a population, a region, across a health system. And with that, what if you could diagnose one more patient? Pre-processing of the image information, auto-assigning the cases, display protocols that are automated, automatic report filling, template generation, and then automatic registry completion. So your workflow becomes so much more efficient. You're collaborating a lot more, and then to do this at the macro scale, it's really around bringing all of this together and applying simple generative AI technologies to it. Why spend time on repetitive tasks when all of this can be integrated right into the workflow? By having a smart PACS, by having smart reporting, by having a single unified way to look at the data on an enterprise viewer and a diagnostic viewer. Real-time analytics that then you can look at across the entire population. You can prioritize and see which, at the health system level, where are we ahead, where are we behind, which units need more help, automatically aggregate where care is falling behind. So you can start really having a virtual command center like operations around being able to liberate the data from sort of one point in a health system or one region and look at it across multiple trends and react to it progressively. This is all possible if you unlock the data with AI in the cloud. So key takeaways, as I mentioned, artificial intelligence will really change how we process the data, the workflow, liberating the radiologist from the day-to-day repetitive tasks. It only works if it's integrated within your PACS. It's not a different system. And it's self-learning and making your PACS system much more smarter. It needs to be scalable in a way that the data is centralized so you can access the data from anywhere on any medium, whether it's your tablet or your phone or your diagnostic machine. The goal is really then the smart insights into the integrated workflow, which means the clinician and the radiologist have a unified patient view and have the same way of looking at it together, which means being able to have all the insights right into the diagnostic workflow and being able to then use predictive analytics for what needs to be done with the patient next. And then generative AI is what brings the data together across multiple hospitals, multiple health systems, so you can look at this from a population standpoint and react much more quickly to the increasing demands of care. So that's a little bit about our vision. The future is bright, and you will hear from my colleagues now on going much deeper into how we're integrating and bringing some of these solutions together. Thank you for your time. Obrigada.